Hey everybody, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to do 14 and 15 for the December daily project. In an attempt to get more videos out, I'm sharing this on a Sunday. So for the 14th, I wanted to document winter, and I simply went outside and snapped a photo of the sky, and I figured, you know what, that looks like winter. We have a dead tree and a blue-gray sky. And I thought, why don't I include the weather report, or the weather report that I had, which was a showing of the rain, you know, with the color scale, and use a little glassine bag to hold that along with some journaling. And I'll frame it in with the craft snowflakes. And I love how this came together. It's so simple but so pretty. So I took the snowflake, cut it in half, and then put a piece on the left and a piece on the right. I also used my Cameo to die cut the word winter from a really old story kit, and also die cut 14 as well. That way everything could be neutral colors, and there's also not a lot of bulk in this project. Not that I'm worried about bulk at this point, but I just wanted the colors to match. And the number I had available for 14 wasn't going to match, so it was better to just cut it with my Cameo. So once I have the glassine pocket laid down, I can put the winter over the top and 14 above it. I also found some white chipboard stars in my stash. I have not used a lot of stars this season, I think. I don't know, I just haven't. But I've used a few stars here and there. But I'm glad that I was able to use some white stars and also document winter, because I know sometimes I feel like winter gets a bad rap. I don't know. Do you feel like that? But I really enjoy winter, especially as I'm getting older and just appreciating what winter is in nature. I don't know if that sounds kind of silly, but I just appreciate that in nature, in winter, everything kind of slows down and hibernates and takes time to kind of evaluate. And I feel like that's what winter is for me. And it gives me that permission to slow down and, rest if I want to. So I stamped this December day, also added in another snowflake piece, and then I just talked about how the weekend started off with rainy and stormy weather. It was definitely a day for staying inside and being cozy. And then I said that fall, in California just arrives. It takes us so long to arrive and then quickly leaves. And I actually prefer winter over summer, because summers here last so long, so long. And I also mentioned how cold I am always, and I'm always wearing double layers or triple layers. So just little details like that to include and give the story some more depth. I put it in the pocket and realized the journaling card is a smidge too big, so I just trimmed on one of the sides and then put it back into the pocket. And that page is done. Simple and easy, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And now I can move on to 15, which is a really fun one with my daughter and her friend. So for that one, I wanted to do a full page photo. And if you watched my getting ready video for December daily, I talked about this particular design. It's a design that I do all the time. I use the example of my son at the beach, and I said that I might replicate that in some way. So I decided to do that with ornaments. I got a really great photo of them baking. I mean, they're preteens, so they're not going to look at the camera and smile. It's just not going to happen, which is fine. I love that. So I just went with this photo, and it's a great action shot of them working on their project. They had a chocolate chip wreath that they were making, and then they got to decorate it at the end. So it was a pretty long process, and I was impressed with how they stuck with it, because it was a long process. So I wanted to use the ornaments from the 10x8 paper as kind of my circle design, but the circles and the ornaments are oval ish. So what I did is I measured them to the best of my ability and then printed out a test copy to see if it would match with the photos that I had, and it did. So I went ahead and used my Cameo to cut out the size that I had for the photos, and then now my photos match the size of the ornaments. And I am gonna doodle little ornament hangers on the top of my photos for just for a little extra detail, and that way they all cohesively match. I'm also going to have 2 ornaments that flip up, and of course that's going to get a little complicated because I forgot about something. So I am cutting out several of the ornaments. I cut out a striped one with all the different colors, another one that says around here, and then a soft pink one that I'm going to put the number 15 on, which is going to go in the bottom right hand corner. The center photo is me holding up the book with the recipe. My daughter actually got a recipe book, the Nightmare Before Christmas recipe book, so that's what she wanted to create, and she just loves the movie, so it was definitely an adventure. So I wanted to have one of these ornaments flip up with some journaling. So I used the notebook paper that I had left over from day 12 to cut out a piece of it that matches the size of the ornament. I also wanted to have a flip up in the middle of the bottom row with the girls' finished product. I had close-ups of both of theirs, and my daughter's is in the front, and then, my daughter's friend is in the front, and then behind that is my daughter's. It was very interesting how both of theirs turned out so different. I would say my daughter's was a little scarier, and then her friend's was a little jollier. So it's just fun to see them both work on this throughout the day. I'm using my T-ruler to attempt to get everything straight. I'm not too terribly worried about whether or not it's going to be straight. Just do my best. You can see here that I'm using the pencil to kind of draw in those ornament, I don't know what they're called, ornament toppers. That's what I'm going to call them, ornament toppers. And then later on, I will come back in with my Tombow pen and fill it in. And I think it's, like I said earlier, it's a cute little detail that I added. So the problem with my flip ups that I'm going to quickly realize is that if I'm going to have the flip up turn and then you be able to see the entire photo, I need to add a little more to the photo. So I need to cut out a vellum piece that will allow the photo to be a little bit bigger, if that makes sense. So my first step was obviously to just use my paper piercer, poke a hole, and then, adhere it to the back. Simple and done, right? The problem is that you wouldn't be able to see a lot of the photos, like I said, and you wouldn't be able to see a lot of the journaling because you can't see the journaling up at the top few lines. So I'd only have just a couple lines journaling. And I also feel like I really didn't leave enough room for journaling. So what I did is I grabbed some vellum, and I'm going to take the vellum and the ornament photos and attach them to the vellum. Then once I have the vellum shape cut out, that's what I will use to pierce through instead of the photos, because piercing it through the photos makes it so you can't see the entire wreath. So I need to have the vellum so that way the photos come down just a little bit, and then when it swings up, you see the whole thing, if that makes sense. I'm just explaining the process because I feel like that might help somebody else when they're trying to make these flip ups, because I love making these brad swing flip ups, and most of the time this step doesn't matter, but in this situation you needed to have a photo mat so that way you can see the entire photo with both of the wreaths. So it's gonna work now, and I just was testing it and got my brads in, and now I can move forward with finishing up this project. Okay, so I'm done finagling with this. I'm testing it out. Well, I'm going to test it out right now. Swing up to see both the girls' wreaths, and then I can wrap up this project. Like I said, I got a really great photo up in the top left corner of all the different ingredients because there were so many ingredients to this recipe, so many. I also got a photo of my daughter on the right hand side, and she's smiling, but her teeth are covered with frosting. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use that photo, and maybe some years down the road, she probably won't be happy with me. But I think it's hilarious, and that's what she gave me when I asked for a photo. So I also have a photo of her friend baking in the bottom left row, and I just got a great mix of photos. So the last little step is going to be adding an ornament to the bottom right corner of the large photo. I chose a bold red ornament, and it goes right in the negative space in that photo, and it just looks so good there. I also found in my random box of die cuts something that says fa la la, so I will use that in the corner as well. I also put the title Friends in the negative space up at the top, and I did it in a bold green color. So love how that turned out. And now I'm going to use that Tombow to fill in the various ornaments. And really, when you look at the page, you can't even tell that I doodled them. So very happy with how those turned out. I feel like a lot of my journaling techniques and methods are translating now into my scrapbooking and making me a little bit more, I would say, confident in trying new things with my scrapbooking. I erased all of the pencil marks, and now I can put it into the album. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing another 2 pages come together. I so enjoy these December daily shares, and if you are new to my channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe. I'm so close to 5,000. That's just amazing. So I gotta hole punch it, and then there you go. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.